to start out with a song and somebody say if it sounds good or not. And yeah. When you're working 2 jobs and living in a tent, when a house costs $1,000,000 and you can't pay the rent, when the politicians say they'll help but it keeps getting worse, each time the landlord lobby pulls the strings, the burst. When the human right to housing isn't even part of the debate, you know you're living in a failed state. When millions of citizens are spending half their lives locked up in a prison for trying to survive. When laws must be broken just to have a place to stay. When the prisons pay the senators to look the other way. If you have to be a criminal to put food upon your plate, you know you're living in a failed state. When you're facing climate breakdown, when the trees are all on fire, when half the country's underwater, when a climate change denier runs the nation, and the opposition party votes for oil rigs and pipelines, it's not so much a country as it is a corporation buckling under its weight. You know you're living in a failed state. When your nation is an empire facing daily blowback, and the only thing your leaders can think to do is attack, bipartisan consensus that we need to spend $700 billion before the year's end on a military budget to make America great, you know you're living in a failed state. When almost every day some psycho with a gun has to open fire on a crowd before it's done. When a music festival becomes a free fire zone and all they can say is it's okay now he was acting alone. Buy some armor, pray to God, and hide behind the gate. You know you're living in a failed state. You know you're living in a failed state. You know you're living in a failed state. Hello, everybody. Good to see people commenting from different platforms, in fact, which seems to indicate that this streaming thing on multiple platforms appears to be working as far as Periscope and Facebook anyway. And hopefully, if there's anybody, wonderful, Lee and all folks from Ireland, England, and somewhere else. And let's see. Oh, great. You're going to be recording St. Patrick Battalion in Spanish. I want to hear it. There's a fantastic version done by a philosophy professor in Mexico in Spanish. Oh, we have somebody from the Netherlands, Nebraska. Oh, and that's a different, that's YouTube, right? Are you watching on YouTube? I believe we have at least 3 platforms represented. This is exciting. It may cost something to subscribe to this service, but I'm already excited about it. It works. The platform problem can be solved. So this is the first of a monthly series I believe I'll be doing from my living room or from elsewhere next month at the first Sunday of November. Twitter too. Oh, that's Twitter. Excellent. Yes. The first Sunday of the month, I'm going to do this thing. And when I'm talking, you can hear okay at this. Seems to be working okay. This is the SE1X1 USB mic. Should be, I believe, my best quality live stream I've ever done, which isn't saying much because I've never used a decent mic till now. But I'm thinking to do this live stream thing at the beginning of each month on Sunday at noon Pacific time, and next month we'll be broadcasting from Glasgow with some special musical guests who I will have just been working on an album project with in Ireland. I'm leaving for a tour in a few days that will take me to the Midwestern US as well as to Germany, Ireland, England, and Scotland. and in Ireland, we'll be making a album. And there's more about that on my website, davidrovics.com, if anybody wants more details about the album project. Australia at 5:30 in the morning. Excellent. So, for this particular broadcast here, I just thought songs related to somehow or another to something that's happening in the world nowadays. So, requests. If you have a request, then just tell me the song and tell me how it is somehow related to something that's happening. There's a lot of things like that. Of course, it's always one degree of separation for anything being related to anything else. But I'm kind of thinking about okay, now see, black flag flying. Now you got to tell me, how are the pirates of the Golden Age related? That's actually not hard to relate them to food not bombs. What's happening with food not bombs? Anything in particular? A lot of terrible stuff in the Philippines with the food not bombs chapter being raided. Yeah. So, but I'm gonna be in Ireland, the north of Ireland, and Scotland, all around just before and after the Brexit deadline, which probably won't be much of a deadline or something because it'll just get extended. But and I know you people over there are probably tired of hearing about it, but I have to do a song for just to prove my terrible anarchist credentials. Travel around Europe today, you'll find society stratified. You'll find an ever-widening political divide. You'll find a growing left and a right that's growing faster, convincing people they're the ones to avert the next disaster. You can see the dark clouds growing, taking over every space, except, oddly enough, in a little place called England, where a goring chorus screams, I agree with Jeremy. The BBC ignored him, or they treated him like a clown. Transnational corporations said this man will bring us down. The Blairites in the party stabbed him in the back, and then they did it again. But after each attack, he was steady at the helm, at the job for which he was picked. Despite all the accusations, he's an anti-Zionist peacenik who wants to change the country and says the country, I agree with Jeremy. The case before the nation is the one that we all face. What direction now goes this human race? Do we give up on the missiles and tax the rich a lot, or give up on society and just embrace the rot among us who would tell us it's the foreigners to blame, not the Blairite Tory billionaires and their big neoliberal game? Each day the numbers grow, as each day new people see that they agree with Jeremy. They agree, I agree with Jeremy. And that's, we had a Labor Party conference in the world. Yes. Huh? The world transformed? I don't know. The world transformed? Oh, Laura, sounds great. Oh, good. The whole family's watching in Bethel. Wonderful. Well, then, let's see here. Cheese and bread? Oh, I have to do it anyway. I don't know. It was a June rebellion, and it's October. But I just an anarchist kitchen right now. Good cooking in the anarchist in Belgium. They're so this is this is what I especially love about the internet is how it's international. Got people all over the place and on multiple platforms. That's so exciting. And I can see you. Oh, Last Lincoln Veteran. That's also related to October too. Two separate YouTube. Yes, I don't understand why, Luther. There's two separate streams happening. I signed up to two different YouTube things, YouTube events and YouTube's, but now you're seeing two streams. That's weird. I should undo one of those unless there's any reason anybody knows why there's two streams. Why two? You bought a book on Ungdomshuset or 1969? There's too many possible references. Two different devices. Is that what it's about? The YouTube thing? I have no idea. Who? I don't know. That's another possible. But there's no YouTube events and YouTube something else. I signed up to all of it. I just, maybe that was a mistake. There was also, excellent. Well, here's a song about a Welsh rebellion that took place in 1831. 1831, the age of industry begun. For the working folk of Wales, life was short. With wages cut again, it was only sensible that then folks took over, shut down the debtors' court. The gentry pulled the wire, told their men to open fire and restore the rule of their estate. But as the night descended and the battle ended, the soldiers had all fled behind a gate. They chanted cheese and bread, and our children must be fed in the days when Wales rose against the crown. They chanted cheese and bread with a bloody loaf above their heads when the red flag flew in Merthyr Town. The message went out east and west to put the gentry to the test. The cavalry was ambushed and turned back. After so long playing defense, the time had come now when the workers were the ones on the attack. They chanted cheese and bread, and our children must be fed in the days when Wales rose against the crown. They chanted cheese and bread with a bloody loaf above their heads when the red flag flew in Merthyr Town. The crown sent soldiers by the score till order was restored. Then came Dick Penderyn's execution, another martyr for the cause, meant to give us pause the next time people call for revolution. They chanted cheese and bread, and our children must be fed in the days when Wales rose against the crown. They chanted cheese and bread with a bloody loaf above their heads when the red flag flew in Merthyr Town. Oh, it's lovely to see you all there. Oh, but by the way, that's about a Welsh Rebellion. I don't have any gigs in Wales coming up, only England and Scotland. So people in Wales should feel very jealous all of a sudden and organize a gig somewhere. I do have available dates. Oh, I should enable Super Chat. What's Super Chat? Is that where everybody can chat together, like from all these different platforms? I need to know about that. Laura Volpentesta. So yeah, people can please give me tips on what to do with this multi-platform streaming thing. I don't know if you guys could be viewing this somewhere where you can see all you. I think you can on restream.io somewhere, but no super chat. Let's see. Donate. Oh, that's good. Super. That's good. Yep, I can enable that. Good. My current album fundraising project you can find at the bottom of davidrovics.com too. It's going to be called Strangers and Friends, and you are very welcome to donate to that. Any of you with disposable income, please. And you can join my CSA if you go to davidrovics.com, click on CSA, and join my community supported art program, which several of you are already members of. Which is how I survive in the post-merch era. And good, I'm definitely going to enable Super Chat. But I do that on my YouTube channel. I don't know. I don't want to mess things up and try to open another window. The whole thing will crash, I think. But I'll figure that out. List. What should I do? Oh, yes. You got it. We'll do that. I came to this country, left Scotland far behind, evicted from the Highlands, told to go and find a new life in America across the Atlantic Sea, where I joined the millions of other refugees who ended up at Ellis Island as the century began. The wretched of the earth from every foreign land. When I came to this country, broken and bereft, I quickly saw I'd have been no worse off if I'd never left. Such awful deprivations as I'd never had to face, borne by Swedes and Russians, Africans, and every other race. Millions of people trying not to end up dead from cholera or black lung or being clubbed on the head. I came to this country to have something on my fork. It was obvious the first thing was to get out of New York. I learned to hop the freight train, some other stiffs and I caught a westbound rattler to give Oregon a try. Signed up for the logging camps, became a timber beast. If I'd stayed there any longer, I'd have surely been deceased. When I came to this country, I worked the copper mines in Butte. I was a candy dancer in Spokane in a candy dancer suit. I heard the rebel girl speak one night in a railway yard. I joined the union right away and got my first red card. Became a hobo organizer for the one big union grand, preaching the wobbly gospel across the starving land. When I came to this country, I soon enough lost track of the number of times I felt a billy club upon my back, or how many times I saw the tents with freezing kids working in the mines instead of living on the skids. How many times I heard the horrid crying from below of those trapped there in the dungeons with nowhere left to go. When I came to this country, it was a hopeful time of desperation. Red flags flew all across the nation, but when the war began in Europe, we refused to die and kill. We refused to fight a boss's war and serve the boss's will. That's when they got the Legion to burn down our union halls all across the land where there used to be four walls. When I came to this country, I had no great expectations, but I didn't think I'd end up back here awaiting deportation. On a steamship on the Hudson, I watched the sunset fade, with 20,000 others swept up in the Palmerades, counting myself lucky that I'm still alive, remembering the moment when I first arrived, when I came to this country, when I came to this country, when I came to this country. Does it sound good? I'm hearing this weird tinny trebly thing. Are you hearing that, or is that just me? I don't know. It's communist propaganda while washing dishes. It is the best way to consume communist propaganda, I think, while washing dishes. So there's what else? What was I thinking of? No, there were requests there. I could change my tunings, but I was, well, one thing I know oh, that's a good idea. Why don't I do that one? One thing is I'm trying to avoid doing songs I did last month at this live stream, but I don't have any recollection of what that was. So if anybody remembers what I did. Let's mark this date together, lest it pass us by. Let's recall the moment when the powder keg ran dry, when all across the USA, cities turned to embers. Anybody old enough vividly remembers everything that happened on that date. 50 years ago in 68, carpet bombing of the city of Hanoi, barely 2 decades after Little Boy. Draft cards burning, police stations on fire, the powers that be down to the wire. The naked emperor was the normative state. 50 years ago in 68. Both ruling parties were exposed. The hung question of the day: Mr. President, how many kids did you kill today? If we try to draft more soldiers, said the general, I can't guarantee that we could maintain domestic tranquility. A society on the brink, the possibilities so great. 50 years ago in 68. It was a time when people everywhere were rising from their knees just outside the halls of power, throughout the colonies, from Oakland to Algiers, from Saigon to Paris. Structures laid bare for all to see. The use of force alone will not determine our fate. 50 years ago in 68. Soldiers were kept in barracks lest they figure out the score, that love really can be more powerful than war. The ruling class tried desperately to gain the upper hand, faced with a society they didn't understand. They just about got stuck beneath the historical weight. 50 years ago in 68. Anyone in power now knows it might not last, at least if they look back to the fairly recent past, when the consent of the governed was for a time withdrawn, when empires were challenged and some of them were gone, when the movement was global and liberation was its fate. 50 years ago in 68. 50 years ago in 68. Now to catch up on messages. Yes, excellent. Good, good. I'm looking forward to Glasgow too. And this is the October 3rd, 30th anniversary of the ending of the 1981 hunger strike. That was the ending of 10 after 10 men were dead, which is a wonderful book, incidentally. If you haven't read 10 Men Dead, bring snacks. About an hour. Depends on how much you need to snack, I suppose. I could hear Vanguard every day. Oh, wait, I do. That's the great thing about recordings. People can listen to these songs over and over if they want to. But for Sylvain there in the lovely village of Verviers, Belgium, here is the requested song, which may have been related to a comment back there, which I will look at later. I don't drive a car because they run on gas, but if I did, it'd run on biomass. I ride a bike or sometimes a skateboard, so fuck off all you drivers and your yuppie hordes sitting all day in the traffic queues. I'm a better anarchist than you. I don't eat meat, I just live on moldy chives or the donuts that I found in last week's dumpster dives. Look, you people in that restaurant, I think you are so sad when you could have been eating bagels like the ones that I just had. I think it is a shame all the bourgeois things you do. I'm a better anarchist than you. I don't wear leather and I like my clothes in black, and I made a really cool hammock from a moldy coffee sack. I like to hop on freight trains. I think that it's so cool. It's so much funner doing this than being stuck in school. I can't believe you're wearing those brand new shiny shoes. I'm a better anarchist than you. I don't believe in leaders. I think consensus is the key. I don't believe in stupid notions like representative democracy. Whether or not it works, I know it is the case that only direct action can save the human race. So when I see you in your voting booths, then I know it's true. I'm a better anarchist than you. I am not a pacifist. I like throwing bricks, and when the cops have caught me and I've taken a few licks, I always feel lucky if I get a bloody nose, because I feel so militant and everybody knows by the time the riot is all through, I'm a better anarchist than you. I'm a better anarchist than you. Oh yeah. My dad, Howard, says Laura plugged her laptop into a personal monitor, like a monitor speaker, and it sounds better. That's good, because I mean the bottleneck here with streaming is the bandwidth of the Wi-Fi, I guess, which is good over on this end. But oh god, we're getting lots of good requests related to all kinds of things. But oh, that's two for okay, coming right up. But then October anniversaries as well. I began writing songs. I began writing songs because what was it? I mean, how do I enable super chat, David Luther? And which were you calling super chatters people who enable super chat narcissists or something? I like it when people give me money. So I don't know if that's narcissism. I am a narcissist, probably, but I already know I was. I'm looking back. Yeah, a gig before my interweb is amazing. I'm looking back at previous comments, but wow, that whatever that was about super chat is way back there. But I don't know how to enable it. Can you tell me? Oh, I left off a verse, but I am, yes, Gordon, you're very observant. People have been observing this verse that I'm leaving out, which is just, it needs to be rewritten, so I just leave it out. So super chat, if I had super chat on the button, so that's on my YouTube channel? Is that on my YouTube channel? Okay, let's see if I can open YouTube without the computer crashing. But I mean, then I'm going to be there on my YouTube channel. And oh, live now it says. But how do I enable super chat? Enable super chat. Is that on here somewhere? I hate to waste anybody's time while I'm enabling super chat, but where do you do that? Somebody's probably telling me now and I'm not looking. But no, I don't see where to enable super chat. If anybody knows where I enable super chat, let me know. Let's see, somebody already has to go off to work. What is this? Monday morning in Australia? Okay, well, I'll try to figure out how to enable super chat by next week anyway. But getting back to those requests. Okay, now I don't know. This is, I mean, I've just been listening to BBC NewsHour, so how to relate this song to the news is how not to would be the question. Listen to me, friends, from New York to California. Consider for a moment Sulamania, the last city volunteers would often see before they hiked over the mountains and joined the war for the freedom of the people of Rojava. The enclave defended by RPGs and guns, wielded by Rojava's daughters and sons, along with scores of those who's come from far and near, who learned to fire mortars so they could fight right here for the freedom of the people of Rojava. What makes a person go from Occupy Wall Street to marching through the desert with blisters on their feet, to risk life and liberty to face Islamic State, knowing that martyrdom would likely be their fate for the freedom of the people of Rojava? Something worth defending isn't hard to find. Not many will go off and leave their homes behind to go train on the mountain with the YPG, to go join somebody's struggle out of solidarity for the freedom of the people of Rojava. The blood of many folk has been spilled along the way, including several anarchists from the USA. So remember Robert Brault and Michael Israel, Paolo Todd, Jordan McTaggart, how they lived and how they fell for the freedom of the people of Rojava. For the freedom of the people of Rojava. For the freedom of the people of Rojava. And then getting back to another thing somebody mentioned, October 3rd. October 3rd is a bunch of anniversaries. We'll mention others perhaps, but yeah, that's another I was going to mention. Thank you, Kamala. Court Monday. We'll see what happens after that. We'll just get to Jock right now. Even though I sang this last, I thought last time I sang this song, he was looking at Jock Palfreyman was looking at facing another, I don't know how many more, 7 years in prison. He's been in for 13 in Bulgaria, and then it was looking like he was going to get parole, and then now there's going to be some kind of an illegal parole extra hearing, and about whether he really will get parole, which seems to be a hearing they've just invented for him, because his case is being made into a political football. Jock Paul Freeman traveled to see friends in Bulgaria, spend Christmas in their homes, have a night out in Sofia. He was only planning to visit for a short stay. 13 years since then, he's never been away. The night that Jock went out with friends, walked past the metro station, the mood suddenly changed from one of celebration to the sounds of Nazi football hooligans in the streets again, shouting racist slurs at two Roma men. Most people would keep walking or find a place to hide, while some among us have to take a side. Jock stood and faced the Nazis marching in the street. He flashed a blade to keep them back. They threw chunks of concrete. Jock fell to the ground, woke up handcuffed, splitting head. That's the time he learned one of his attackers was dead. No one quite knew what had happened, but in the police report, they said these men attacked the Roma, just like Jock said in the court. The CCTV footage disappeared, and then, after it was found, it disappeared again. Most people would keep walking or find a place to hide, while some among us have to take a side. The forensics examiner said of the man who lost his life, clearly he was stabbed, but the wound didn't match the knife. Witness testimony wasn't deemed relevant to the case. In Bulgaria today, that's the justice you might face, because these particular racists were sons of the elite. Corruption in the form of a parliamentary seat, a kangaroo court conviction, every telltale sign. They plan to beat and starve him until 2029. Most people would keep walking or find a place to hide, while some of us have to take a side. Most people would keep walking or find a place to hide, while some among us have to take a side. Jock Paul Freeman traveled to see friends in Bulgaria. And that I have to see what was said up here. Wait, wow, there's people watching here, and I'm getting, oh, I see. Yes, people want to be seen, Luther. I do too. Where is Maura? I just saw Maura's pop up on the screen. Where are you, Maura? Everything is on the screen, which is amazing. It doesn't disappear. This is so user friendly. Okay, here we go. Oh, anti-fascist stopping Mosley's march would be a great. I need to write a song about that. There's been some great ones. Oh, Black 47, did they? No. Belfast. Yes, excellent. Mara, good. She gave me you gave me a t-shirt. It said AK-47, or the picture of an AK-47 killing capitalists since 1947, which I think is something somebody made up. I think it existed before 47, didn't it? I don't know. I think. But anyway, I love that t-shirt. And then I sat down with that t-shirt in a cafe in Edinburgh, outside, an outdoor cafe, and basically cleared it. I mean, that T-shirt cleared the cafe. I don't know what people thought was going to happen next, but they left. They all left. I had a cafe to myself. Grew up on a farm in a troubled Irish land. Yeah, see, should practice before I do gigs, but I was just singing this song recently. Troubled Irish land, under foreign rule, and the British Crown's come in. Crowns. His father fought for Ireland 50 years before, but the Free State cut their losses and the English won the war. And when internment without trial was the order of the day, when his brother was arrested and his friends were blown away, when he was beaten near to death, he decided, come what may, throw his lot in with the Provos, and he joined the IRA. In the occupied 6 counties, perhaps it never will be known, all the foreign soldiers in Armagh and Tyrone who decided to head back across the Irish Sea so they wouldn't have to meet the man from south of Derry. He never wavered in his battle for Irish liberty, and the Crown would soon regret the day they made him enemy. The Brits called it bandit country, and it filled them all with fright. In the borderlands, he who walked the hills at night. Up the Provost, that's what he said. 3 little words that filled the British Crown with dread. With a rifle on his shoulder, a timer and a fuse, long may we remember Commandante Francis Hughes. Long may we remember Commandante Francis Hughes. Once he was surrounded by the SAS. How he might escape was anybody's guess. In his boots and camouflage, he didn't miss a beat. He walked right past the soldiers and out into the street. He came upon a checkpoint, the soldier didn't want to die. He recognized our Francis and the soldier waved him by. He didn't want to find out if he could take what he could give. He knew there'd be a shootout and the soldier chose to live. Up the Provost, that's what he said. And from this farmer's son, better men had fled. With a rifle on his shoulder, a timer and a fuse. Long may we remember Commandante Francis Hughes. Long may we remember Commandante Francis Hughes. He was the North's most wanted man, with his photo everywhere. But he eluded capture with his wit and dyed blonde hair. For 6 years he was active, 3 times as long as most. He became a legend north to south, coast to coast. He came upon 2 soldiers out one night on patrol. They shot him in the firefight and the bullets took their toll. He crawled off into the bushes, but they found him the next day. Put him on a stretcher and carried him away. Up the Provost, that's what he said. With a shattered bone and a body full of lead. With a timer and a fuse. Long may we remember Commandante Francis Hughes. Long may we remember Commandante Francis Hughes. They beat him and they tortured him and they gave him 80 years. When they brought him to the H blocks, he was greeted there with cheers. He went right on to the blanket when the hunger strike began. He was the first to volunteer, along with Bobby Sands. He was an Irish soldier, that's how he did his time. He knew he was no criminal, occupation was the crime. Bobby Sands had passed beyond us, where Francis soon would be, although he couldn't stand and he could barely see. Up the provost, that's what he said, as they carried him to hospital to lay in his deathbed, with a rifle on his shoulder, a timer and a fuse. Long may we remember Commandante Francis Hughes. Up the provost, that's what he said. And soon there'd be another in his deathbed, with a rifle on his shoulder, a timer and a fuse. Long may we remember Commandante Francis Hughes. Long may we remember Commandante Francis Hughes. And when I do the song live sometime, I will not butcher it as badly, or it will be less noticeable, perhaps, to me, because people will be shouting along. And it's also anniversary of other distant events that are very relevant to the present. One of the, who knows? Who knows? Who knows what the future holds? We don't know about that. That's the less predictable part, although there are, certain things that happen that make you think you might know. Outside, there's it's like a online family reunion in many different time zones. When it's 2019, but it feels like 1933. When your eyes are open, when you know the history. When your parents lived through things that looked so much like this. All the indications impossible to miss. When you've sought for your whole life to make the earth a better place. And once again you see the rising of the master race. When you know that they're coming, when they announced it in advance. When you know for many people this will be their last chance. Then you may ask the question, what can one person do when the time to act is now? And now it's up to you. It's 2019, but it feels like 1933, when indefinite detention is the new reality. For so many children to whom you did not give birth, when you see they're just as precious as every other child on earth, when they're opening the camps not used since the war, where families were imprisoned decades before. When Kristallnacht is coming, they announced it on the news. When the writing's on the wall, when you can see the fuse, then you may ask the question, what can one person do when the time to act is now? And now it's up to you. When it's 2019, but it feels like 1933. When you know rallies are not helping and silence is complicity. When you know where the kids are kept locked inside their cells. When you see approaching the future this foretells. When they're coming for your neighbors. When they've even said what day they plan to put them all in buses and take them away. When you know where they keep the buses. You've been to the parking lot. Perhaps a whole lot of petrol bombs is the best move that you've got. You may ask the question, what can one person do when the time to act is now? And now it's up to you. When it's 2019, but it feels like 1933. Okay, St. Patrick Battalion, please, says Sylvian. But I'm going to first stay in this tuning for the anniversary of the Boatlift of across Öresund. It's the beginning of October 1943. When we heard the news, we were to be arrested. We had no doubt exactly what our fate would be. We had hours to get out, only hours to be tested for 7,000 people to cross the sea. We had to go at night in the cover of the darkness. There's no way I could exaggerate the threat. We tried not to make a sound or nothing that would mark us, but no one knew how far across we'd get. And I thank God for the fishermen who gave us a ride and took us over to the other side. To find so many boats ready for the journey, to find so many prepared to risk it all. Not everyone could read the stars, not every boat was worthy, not everyone prepared to heed the call. I thank God for the fishermen who gave us a ride and took us over to the other side. Some risked everything for free, accepting nothing but a handshake. Some charged enough to live on for a year. But such details don't matter when so much is at stake, when all that matters is a boat that you might steer. We lived out the war in Sweden while so many others didn't, and most people now would easily agree. To say we deserved asylum would simply be redundant in the Boatlift of 1943. I thank God for the fishermen who gave us a ride and took us over to the other side. I thank God for the fishermen who gave us a ride and took us over to the other side. And took us over to the other side. And took us over to the other side. Kristen Skiel, you're from Denmark? Good. I go to Denmark a lot. I will be leaving on the 10th for a tour for 6 weeks, incidentally, for all you interested. I'll be going to a forest convergence in the Shawnee National Forest in southern Illinois, which will be happening this coming weekend. I'll be leaving on Thursday to head out there. And then from there, after that, I'll be heading to Germany, Ireland, England, and Scotland. And all the details about what I'm doing in all those places are on my website, davidrovics.com. If you click on gigs or davidrovics.com/tour, then you'll see where all the gigs are happening. And what I'm doing in Ireland at the end of this month, for the last week of this month, is working on an album in Dundalk. And if you go to davidrovics.com and look to the bottom, you'll see the widget where you can find out about that album and donate to the album campaign if you are so moved to do so, which would be wonderful. And to support my work, you can click on the CSA link if you are so moved, which would also be wonderful. And oh, I know what I wanted to do. How about this? I know it's not an uplifting subject, but there's a lot that's going on that's not so uplifting. But Oh wait, no, we need a little bit of we need a little humor here, and we have an excuse for it too because huh? A non 18 plus gig sometime. Oh, definitely. Yeah, actually, I actually probably most of the venues that I play at are all ages. Um, but unfortunately, I don't tour in the United States much at all anymore. So depending on where you are, whether it's an 18 plus venue or not, I might or might not ever be there. But if you're in England or somewhere that I actually play in these days, I play in all ages venues a lot. It's my preference. I don't drink, so it's kind of pointless to hang around with people who are drinking. They just get really boring after a few hours, generally. But this is about somebody else who did not drink. Lots of folks are revolting. They've had enough of this shit. The rich are getting richer. They're saying that's it. But with Luke, it's different, that's clear. As he emerges from the fog, let's hear it for Lucanicos, the riot dog. It's a fight between people, but he is no pawn. He knows exactly which side he's on. In the machine of capital, he is no cog. Let's hear it for Lucanicos, the riot dog. When a smoke bomb comes towards him, he kicks it back at the fuzz. He acts a bit different than a normal dog does. He's got a fan page on Facebook, but he's got no time for a blog. Let's hear it for Lucanicos, the riot dog. Let's hear it for Lucanicos, the riot dog. So yeah, Lucanicos. It was in October 2014 that the world learned that Lucanicos had died. And by the way, that leads me to mention, because I don't know, my capitalist nature. Um, this is uh, if you I have two podcasts. One is called This Week with David Rovics, and the other is called Song for Today. And if you subscribe to Song for Today, you already would know that this was the anniversary of the death of Lucanicos and of the Boatlift to Sweden and other things that you surely want to know about. Oh, good. Yeah, I'll be near the Netherlands soon, although I don't think I'll actually be in the Netherlands. But I would love to be there if anybody organized a gig for me there. But so far, nothing. I'll be there later in this month. I'll be in Bonn and Berlin. So, Bonn, not far away. I'll be, but, it's a bit late for organizing a gig. But I will be around. And, you've been listening to me since you were 4. Yes, we definitely should meet in the Netherlands sometime. And what was that? Somebody mentioned you're in England and looking for, and of course England is the place where I often am playing in pubs, which are not, uh, which are not all ages, but being England, they don't care. Nobody will, if you look like you're over 12, they're not going to care, from my experience. And if they do, then I'll tell them you're my roadie. No problem. And just let me know what gig you're coming to. And then, of course, the bookstore in London is a great venue, and that's definitely all ages. But yeah, a lot of those pubs are technically not all ages, but I've never known that to be an issue in England. But then again, if you're 10 years old, it could be. And I'm not disparaging 10-year-olds here. I'm just saying I believe that you probably will have a problem getting into a pub if you're 10. But I went into pubs in England when I was 15, and I had no problem. I was terrified, though. Well, this country has been in the news lately because of the bombing of a Saudi oil refinery, which is the main reason that anything gets the news, it seems. But here's what was happening a year ago and most so many days since then. There's a heat wave in Portland. The sun shines down. Sprinklers are running all over town. It's hot too in Yemen, but lucky for us, nobody here was on that bus where 44 children died. Here the buses pass by, and they pass by again. Inside on the bus left, came back, and then 44 children died. A school trip, a picnic, as the bombings go on. I guess they should have stayed home. Now they're all gone. 44 children died. Fragments of bodies and fragments of bombs litter the market square. On most of the fragments, if you wash off the blood, you'll see USA written there, where 44 children died. Today, and oh gosh, me and my I don't remember that song, although it is such a cool song, I have to say, even though I wrote it. It is I love that guitar part for you and that harpoon, and I don't remember it. But I have to catch up on some of these. Yeah, London. I'll be in London. I will Avant Pop. I will see you at the Houseman's Bookstore in London. Go to davidrovics.com and click on gigs, and you'll see I'm playing in Houseman's, and yeah. Oh, and Lee, you're mentioning that on Facebook. There's a little notification that people can click if they want to be notified when I'm going live. Basically, if you follow me on Facebook, maybe I think that will do it. But if you don't, you won't hear about it. If you follow me on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, I believe that is the case, that you'll be notified about these live streams when they happen. And yeah, I love these messages about people having listened to me since they were 4. And North Carolina, I used to go to North Carolina twice a year, at least. And I'm so glad that I'm there in the form of Spotify, at least. But I would definitely hope to see you there someday again. closest I'll be to North Carolina is Illinois, which is not that close. Coming up, someday I'll get back to touring the U.S. again, I hope. And unfortunately, it's not really up to me. But thank you all so much for listening. I'm going to do one more song, which was also mentioned, requested by Sylvian in Belgium. But also, it seems, why not? Having done other songs that are already my most popular songs on YouTube, such as Up to Provo's and something else. Can't remember. What did I do? Lucanicos. But this is definitely the most popular song I ever wrote. I get an email in Spanish about it every day from somebody in Mexico saying, "Long live Ireland." I love those emails. Or I guess they're comments. And yeah, so thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. I'm so happy that I learned how to stream to multiple platforms and that people are out there. And if anybody has suggestions for how to do this next time differently, or I'm very open to suggestions. But I'm thinking this will be a monthly, first Sunday of the month thing, noon Pacific time, 8 p.m. GMT, and either a concert or a interview or discussion, or I don't know, it could be anything, but I'll have guests next time, and other times, who knows. I'm open to suggestions, and I'll figure out how to turn on that notification thingy on YouTube. And again, if you guys, anybody out there in Illinois, Germany, Ireland, Scotland, or England, go to my website, davidrovics.com, check out the gigs, tell folks about them. I hope to see people on the road. And if you want to subscribe to my podcasts in the meantime, you'll hear from me in different podcast forms at Song for Today and This Week with David Rovics, if you search for them in any podcasting platforms. North Carolina is very beautiful, and raising more class consciousness in North Carolina would be a very good idea. But since you mentioned North Carolina and class consciousness, I think I need to do this song. And if anybody knows, based on North Carolina and class consciousness, what song I'm going to do, you should win a prize. Sometimes I walk the aisles of the grocery store. Sometimes I walk the aisles of the grocery store, and I think about a day some 20 years before, where this chicken came from, south of the Mason-Dixon line, the Imperial Foods Factory in Hamlet, Caroline, the 3rd day of September, 1991, where for so many good people was the day the race was run. Sometimes I walk the aisles, and I can hear the screams of those blasted by hot oil when old hose ruptured at the seams, of those blasted by hot oil when the fireball arose, while more oil fueled the fire being blasted from the hose. More oil fueled the fire, the room filled up with smoke, when those who weren't already dead then began to choke. Sometimes I walk the aisles and I think about the padlocks on the fire doors, barred and blocked. The owner didn't want his workers stealing chickens out the back. It's a right-to-work state. They complain, they get the sack. So Tyson saved some money, and workers lost their lives. Once the fire was put out, the number dead was 25. Sometimes I walk the aisles and somehow feel ashamed. 11 years of operation, inspectors never came. Inspectors never came to look to see if they did anything according to the book. Sometimes I walk the aisles and I wonder to myself, how many people died to put these nuggets on the shelf? Sometimes I walk the aisles. Hottest October ever. Yeah, that's another thing. That is also related. Okay. I'll do the song about that. The death toll keeps mounting. Each time I turn on my phone, another mass shooting, another free fire zone. The failed states of America, white supremacist rule, a society riven with victims and tools. The fires keep burning, completely out of control. Makes you miss the old days of the ozone hole. The snow is all melting, the lakes of Greenland. The best hope that I have, I hold in my hand. If there's a tomorrow, and when yesterday's through, you have me, and I have you. We might have to leave town, or maybe we'll fall beneath a hail of bullets at the shopping mall. Perhaps we'll be arrested, perhaps they'll pass us by. But wherever we might be, when we look up at the sky, if there's a tomorrow, then when yesterday's through, you have me, and I have you. call it natural or made by humankind. We'd like it to be different, but this is the place we find, the one we inherit, the one we're in now. Whatever might come of the future, why, when, how? If there's a tomorrow, then when yesterday's through, you have me, and I have you. If there's a tomorrow, then when yesterday's through, you have me, and I have you. I have you. Okay, now I will actually end with the song that I said I was going to end with 3 songs ago. Unless somebody intervenes with something I just have to respond to in the next few seconds, like happened the other times that I was going to finish, but we have lost 1/3 of our audience since I said I was going to finish. That's okay. It's not like a show where they're walking out. It's just the internet. That's said like a 52-year-old. For other people, it's more real. Well, of course, Gaius. Of course I'll do that. I'll have to do that since that's an appropriate ending sort of song. I'll do this then first. And then that one. My name is John Riley. I'll have your ear only a while. I left my dear home in Ireland. It was death, starvation, or exile. When I got to America, it was my duty to go, enter the army and slog across Texas to join in the war against Mexico. It was there in the pueblos and hillsides that I saw the mistake I had made. Part of a conquering army with the morals of a bayonet blade. So in the midst of these poor dying Catholics, screaming children, the burning stench of it all, myself and 200 Irishmen decided to rise to the call. From Dublin City to San Diego, we witnessed freedom denied. So we formed the St. Patrick Battalion and we fought on the Mexican side. We formed the St. Patrick Battalion and we fought on the Mexican side. We marched neath the green flag of St. Patrick, emblazoned with Erin Goldbra, bright with the harp and the shamrock, and Libertad para la República. Just 50 years after Wolfe Tone, 5,000 miles away, the gangs called us a legion of strangers, and they can talk as they may. But from Dublin City to San Diego, we witnessed freedom denied. So we formed the St. Patrick Battalion and we fought on the Mexican side. We formed the St. Patrick Battalion and we fought on the Mexican side. We fought them in 5 major battles. Churubusco was the last. Overwhelmed by the cannons from Boston, we fell after each mortar blast. Most of us died on that hillside at the service of the Mexican state. So far from our occupied homeland, we were heroes and victims of fate. From Dublin City to San Diego, we witnessed freedom denied. So we formed the St. Patrick Battalion and we fought on the Mexican side. From Dublin City to San Diego, we witnessed freedom denied. So we formed the St. Patrick Battalion and we fought on the Mexican side. We formed the St. Patrick Battalion and we fought on the Mexican side. Do one more. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope to see you on the road and in the streets. When the world has gone crazy and it's all becoming clear, when they're gunning down our comrades and it seems the end is near, as they're loading up the launchers for the tear gas grenades, we can take off our bandanas and kiss behind the barricades. When it's madness all around, and you can see this at a glance, we will sing and we will cry, we will laugh and we will dance, as they shout their marching orders beneath the helicopter blades. We shall seize the moment for a kiss behind the barricades. They will try to break our spirit, and at times they may succeed, but our love for the world is stronger than their greed. When the building is surrounded and hope begins to fade, in my final hour, a kiss behind the barricades. As the movement grows, there will be hills and bends, but at the center of the struggle are your lovers and your friends. And the more we hold each other up, the less we can be swayed. Here's to love and solidarity and a kiss behind the barricades. Take care, y'all. See you soon.